Hey everyone, it's Midnight Spectre, and today I'm going to be discussing the fandom surrounding the internet's favorite blue dog, Bluey. I hope everyone remembers to like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get on to the video. So, I was actually kind of holding out on watching Bluey for a long time. I knew the show existed, and I knew there was a fandom surrounding it, but I never watched it. I figured it would be like Paw Patrol, where a few people actually watched it, and just simply liked the characters from it. However, one day I decided to sit down and watch it after falling down a YouTube rabbit hole, and somehow avoiding the weird conspiracy part of YouTube and landing in the Bluey commentary community. I found there was actually a pretty substantial fandom surrounding Bluey, and a lot of the episodes are actually rather deep. It kind of gave me the same feeling that My Little Pony gave me when I was first discovering it, so I binged all the episodes and my mind was blown. I fell in love with the show, and honestly, I could just forget about the stresses of the world and go back to when I was a kid, and I viewed the world with so much wonder and imagination, and everything felt so new. However, I was in Telegram one day and I found out there was a Bluey subreddit, and one person posted some art there, and they were banned from the subreddit because their art was too furry. So I decided to take a look around the sub and see what it was like. Of course, that same night someone ended up saying they wished Bingo was their girlfriend. I decided to look around a bit more, and the Bluey subreddit seems to really dislike furries. For example, look at this extremely hateful comment that somebody posted a month ago under a video of someone showing off a bandit fursuit made by the Golden Ma on Twitter. I like to think that this comment does not come from a mindset of malice, but simply a place of ignorance. A lot of people think of furries as weird sexual deviants who dress up like animals to have sex, but for the most part, the fandom is a pretty innocent place. Sure, there are bad apples in the fandom who give us a bad name, and most people who own fursuits wouldn't dream of having sex in their fursuit. Although, after looking through some of the Reddit posts, it appears this user is simply set in their ways and will not listen to reason, as seen in this example. I understand the apprehension that some people may have with furries interacting with their fandom due to the misinformation and drama YouTubers reporting on bad apples in the furry fandom to farm views, which seem to overshadow the good that furries do. Some people in their videos will put in a disclaimer saying that not all furries are like this, but a lot of people will just point at the title and thumbnail and just go, "Furry's bad." Bluey at its core is a show targeted towards a younger audience, but the writers of course probably grew tired of shows that pander to children with nothing for the parents to enjoy themselves with, and decided they would make a show that's a little bit deeper and more enjoyable for people of all ages. So members of the Bluey fandom are really trying hard to keep it safe for all ages. However, I do agree that the Bluey fandom should be a safe place for people of all ages. I think that they're a little bit too afraid of furries, and it's driving people away from the community. The furry fandom has so many talented artists and musicians that they could really be the spark that makes a huge art and music scene for the fandom. This means more content of your favorite blue dog. However, here's another example of people in the Bluey community being afraid of furries here, as seen in this comment exchange. The commenter is saying that they were former brony is right about the MLP fandom in the early days. For a long time in the pony community, bronies and furries did not get along, and there'd be arguments online about being a brony is basically being a furry under a different label. Of course, bronies would deny it, but then so many bronies that I knew ended up becoming furries after the show was over. However, there's still a huge subset of the fandom that hates furries, which is kind of funny thinking about MLP's biggest message was love and tolerance and, well, making friends. I would really like to see a change in the community, but it's not as easy as flipping a switch. I would think as the show gains more popularity, and hopefully younger people and more accepting people will start to flood the fandom and push the people who are afraid of furries out of the community, or simply drown out their complaints. I'm actually seeing a bit of a shift in the view of furries and being more accepting of art that is furry, in their words. However, as of right now, a lot of these posts are still controversial, according to Reddit's system, and I'm afraid that if the blue community doesn't change and people are simply afraid of people who decide to represent themselves as a bipedal talking animal, then the community may just become more toxic and driving people away who are actually curious about the show or who actually really like the show. Well, I'm sorry for the bummer in this week's video, but I hope this brings a little bit more light to the situation going on in the Bluey community. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for a video next week. See ya!